Spring is in the air here at YQG in Bloom. And to say goodbye to the winter blues, I have the owner and operator of Wheat Thistle, Matthew Dumouchel. And my name is Tracy Martins, and I want to thank you so much for being here today, Matthew.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much. He brought me some beautiful, I hope you guys are watching, these flowers. What kind are these?
So they're tulips. The darker ones are a peony style tulip, and the lighter ones are a single tulip with beautiful colors, and they complement each other.
I have never ever seen a tulip that dark purpley black. It's amazing.
Yeah, they're one of our favorites. A lot of people were asking to buy them this past fall when we sell our bulbs, and we selfishly only planted them for ourselves, for our subscription members.
Well, it's nice. You got to have some special things that nobody else can have.
Absolutely. I know that this year we're going to have some in the fall, but yeah, they're so beautiful, like that deep, it's almost like a blackish maroon color. So yeah, I'm excited about them.
They are beautiful. Now, what do you guys specialize in?
So our business is, it's a complex business in theory, because we specialize in two different things. One is plants, so that includes flowers and houseplants, as well as exterior plants, but also interior styling. So it's almost like an umbrella company. I work on all of the plant material, and my husband does all the interior styling.
Yeah, because he's an interior designer?
Not an interior designer by trade, but he has an amazing eye, and he has grown a passion to do styling. And so we offer consultations and color blocking, as well as going out and sourcing products for our customers.
So that's great. So you can go in there and explain to them what plants work well, which is great, because as you found out with my sad little spider plant over there on the fireplace, I am better with the outdoor plants than what I am with the indoor plants.
Yeah.
Now, you said you also do outdoor plants as well?
Yeah, so we started getting into a little bit of exterior work with plants, and I don't want to say landscaping, but offering some opportunities for consultations this past year, and it's been a really popular thing with our customers.
I did see you having a little bit of the construction there.
It was like at the beginning of April, I was asked to work on a special project for my customer, and I had to remove sod and lay a bunch of stone, and it was taxing work, but the outcome is amazing, and when she gets all her flowers in by the summer, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, it's relaxing though too. I love working outside in the garden.
Yeah, it just like helps you kind of reset in the morning for your day ahead of you.
It really does, and it's just, if you're stressed out, there's nothing better than going and pulling weeds and gardening.
It's true. Yeah. We garden on a large scale for our flowers, so weeding is not my favorite chore. But when you're doing it at home, it's the perfect type of chore, just to kind of focus on one activity, and then you can get on with your day.
Now, I like the fact that you guys, you grow your own plants, but you don't have the greenhouses.
Correct. Yeah. So we don't grow our own house plants, but all of our flowers we grow ourselves, and we do it out in the open. And we do it for a couple of reasons. The first one being the expense. It's obviously expensive to have greenhouses and hoop houses and high tunnels. So we're starting out slow and small, and it's definitely a lot more manageable when you have a one-person team. The other one is, in the city of Windsor, there's sometimes some permits that are required for those types of structures. So again, maybe one day we will be able to operate with those structures, but for right now, we're managing quite well with what we're doing.
You guys do have some on your property, and then you do have other spaces as well.
That's right. Yeah. So we do grow the majority of our stuff, our flowers, in a yard in Devonshire Heights. So just right behind the mall. But we also do a lot of experimenting in our own backyard in South Walkerville.
Yes. What are those plants that you just had on Instagram that were coming in?
Yeah. So the ranunculus are what has taken over some of our tulip spaces, and we planted them a little late. It would have been amazing to get them about 2 weeks ago in the ground, but they're still going to do well, and they'll grow really quickly now that it's warming up.
Now, what family is the ranunculus? Because I had never heard of it before.
Yeah, so ranunculus is actually its own type of flower. They are not native to North America, and they're also brought in, and they're just so unique in their whole design. They're like big and fluffy. They're kind of they feel like marshmallows almost, and that's what a lot of people know them as. And they're a spring flower, and they come in really quickly when it's a little bit cooler, and then they do fade out really fast once the heat of the summer takes over. So it's a perfect in-between season flower from our tulips, daffodils to when we do our dahlias and zinnias.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize that you did the dahlias and zinnias as well.
Yeah, and this year we have probably over quadrupled our number of dahlias. We're probably growing over 250 individual plants in our space that we have. So yeah, last year we only did about 35, 40, and now we're getting up to 250 plus.
How many different variations, colors?
I think this year we have about 25 varieties. And in my mind, that's still a lot. But there are some people that grow over 100 varieties.
But you're just starting. I mean, how long has it been since Wheat Thistle has started?
So we started the business in December of 2020. So we're still very new. And we're still figuring out a lot of things, trial and error. But I've grown a lot and really quickly because, again, when you're doing it by yourself, you need to learn really fast or else it won't work.
I know. I don't even know how I found you on my personal Instagram page like a year or two ago. I think I just started following local people. Sure. And I remember some of your early posts, it was like little cups of flowers and windowsills. And now it's like, oh my gosh, you have rows and gardens everywhere.
It's true. Yeah. We started the business with more focus on house plants and interior styling. And that's kind of where we were wanting to fit in our niche. And it was helping bridge a gap, especially during, COVID and that time period where we wanted to bring a calming energy into people's homes. That's what they needed. And then throughout that process, I started falling in love with the idea of growing flowers to sell as well. And we started just by bringing a couple of those arrangements to the farmers market where we were set up, and they would always sell out so quickly. So in my mind, business sense, how do I monetize that even more? And we quickly grew from just our backyard to a new space, which is 3,000 square feet worth of gardening space. So it feels like it happened overnight. We're now in our third growing season, but from
it's just a growing season, so that it's not that long of a space.
That's right. So in theory, when we sell to our customers right now, it is a short, quote unquote, short time period. We usually start selling in April and end by our first frost end of October or so. But the rest of the year, we're planning and starting seedlings inside, and we're still working. It's just not necessarily to sell. Maybe one day we'll have some space to be able to do it year round, but right now it's kind of like all of our energy and focus on customers is in about a 6-month window of time.
That's incredible. Now, you had said that this is just your labor of love for the last few years.
Sure.
How did you end up here? Where did you start off?
I guess as the millennial mindset that I have, I will try anything once and see what sticks and what I enjoy. And same with my husband too. We were both in this weird time period where I was no longer working. I had a contract with the city of Windsor. Prior to that, I've done a lot of different office jobs. I went to school for graphic design and photography. And so somehow through COVID, we decided that we wanted to bring houseplants into our lives. And it was kind of like a moment of I can continue on working in an office or try to figure out something else that I am actually passionate about. And the business kind of just happened organically. We wanted to find something that my husband was going to really enjoy and something that I was going to enjoy. And those worlds kind of collided with like doing things for inside of a home. And I kind of changed courses really quickly and went all in. And now we're here in almost year three.
I'm learning from all of the businesses that I've started talking to that COVID was really a game changer for a lot of people. They found jobs that they can do, whether we're stuck in a pandemic and we're stuck in the house, or if we are able, like now we've gone through it and we're good to go. They found their passion, they found their love, and they've rotated into different directions, which at the end of the day has made you happier,
Exactly. We wouldn't be here had that time period occurred, had it not occurred rather. And I'm so much better for it.
Yes.
Because we are now able to live in a career path that just makes more sense for our day-to-day lives.
And less stressful than the office work.
Yes, it's stressful in a different sense because now it's on us. So if we don't make money, it's because of something we didn't do. So it's stressful in that sense, but it's less stressful in the sense that I'm answering to somebody else. Now I'm answering to my customers, and I much rather resonate towards that mindset than working for, quote unquote, the man.
For the few years during the pandemic, I did Tracy's garden, and I had my grow op in my basement. And last year it was stressful beyond belief because it doubled in size.
For sure.
But it's still a good feeling to watch the plants grow and to watch the people when they get the plants and how excited they are, and follow them on social media. Thank you, social media, and see how happy they are when they have plants that are blossoming under their own tutelage.
Absolutely. Yeah. The plant community as a whole and the flower community, local flower community as a whole, they're so positive. They love what we do, but what they're doing as well. It just resonates positivity, and it just really allows us to live in a space where everything feels good all the time. And
plants make everybody happy.
They really do.
Everybody. I mean, daisies are happy flowers. Yeah. Do you grow daisies?
We haven't grown daisies for what we do in terms of like the cut flower section. But I mean, my very first seedling that I started was actually a Shasta daisy. And I grabbed a pack off the shelf, and this was like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years ago. We had this new garden space in our own backyard. So I grabbed a pack. I was like, I can try to grow these. That shouldn't be difficult. And I planted a couple of seedlings in some pots. Before I knew it, I had like 20 plants, and I decided to plant them all in my garden, not realizing that Shasta daisies are really tall when they get to full maturity. And the next year I had to like start pruning them back because they grew so well. And from there, I decided that they wouldn't be good for our garden, but I mean, they are a perfect flower to start if you are looking to start something for your own house.
Mine was the purple cone flower, and I didn't, same thing. I didn't realize how big, I just love the fact that they were purple and they attracted butterflies and certain kinds of birds, and I thought they were great. And
and they got as well.
Big and they doubled in size and kind of take over a little bit. But so you got your spring flowers, you have your tulips and your daffodils.
Yep.
What other flowers do you guys grow for your customers?
Sure. So we have, when we sell our flowers, we sell them in seasons or seasonal grown flowers. So yes, spring is all about tulips and daffodils, and it kind of ties into the ranunculus as well. And peonies are kind of an in-between flower. But then in the summer, we get right into dahlias. And zinnias, celosia, amaranth. There's so many. We are trying to find a way to tailor what we're growing back a little bit and focus on growing amazing quality flowers that will work year round almost, or at least seasonally, instead of growing like hundreds of thousands of different varieties, which you easily could. So this year, we are going to try to grow about 5 varieties, those being dahlias, zinnias, celosia, a couple of fillers, like ornamental grasses and stuff like that. And then also we will have kind of like a mixed bag area. I don't know what that will be yet, but those kind of last as an annual until our frost. For us here in Windsor, luckily, is longer than a lot of other places in Canada. And so we are able to grow anything we like. But right now, we're kind of in that pocket of 5 flowers that will work for any type of arrangement or bouquet.
And I did see that you offer subscriptions.
That's right. Yeah. So we started that last year. So we have a full season subscription that lasts from June until October. And our customers will get 2 bouquets a month. So it equals 10 in total for the season. And those will be made of things that will continuously change over the seasons. Then we also offered our tulip subscription. It was a 5-week subscription that started as soon as our tulips were ready. And it started about beginning of April for us, the second week of April, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have an early summer, which is another 5-week program, which will start at the end of May, beginning of June. A late summer, which will be later on in the summer, probably, I think it's the beginning of July, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have a fall, which will start at the end of August, early September. So we have different options for people who are looking for either just a couple of weeks of flowers or somebody that wants it for the whole summer and
It's always nice to have some fresh flowers.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Again, it brightens everyone's day. So why not have something every week?
Especially when it's grown locally. And
Sure. Pesticide-free, chemicals-free, and grown with love. Like it's a one-man operation. So I'm the one that's planting everything, tending to the seedlings, making sure they're watered, harvesting, processing, and then arranging them. So
that's a lot.
It's a lot of work, but I do it because I'm really passionate about it. And you have to be in this type of business, or else it'll consume everything about you.
But that's the thing is, once you get into the gardening and you're in the dirt and working your plants, it's like you don't even realize that hours have gone by, and it's like, oh my God, half the day and I'm still doing this. But you felt like you'd only been there for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, perfect example. This morning I got up at 5:30 to get out to the farm. Well, farm, I call it still, even though it's in the city. I get out there for, 6:15, and I was out there until about 1 o'clock today, removing as many tulips as I could because the weather is like taking a turn again, and now they need to get out of the ground, and then tending to those beds to make them ready for the next succession of plantings. And I did that, all morning, and then when it gets a little bit too warm, I go inside, have my lunch, and then I start doing things on the inside, like growing new seedlings that will go out in the ground in a couple weeks.
What's going to be your next batch?
So we are getting a lot of our sunflowers already in the ground. About a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we started. But zinnias are one of the next flowers that will go out, as well as our dahlias. I think dahlias will start making their way into the ground this coming week. And it's the perfect time because they need to get in the ground to start growing for us for, middle of July.
So do you start the dahlias inside or are they outside?
Yeah, so there's different ways to do it. I like to pre-start them on the inside. So I started getting a lot of my orders maybe about a month ago. And what I do is I pot them up almost immediately, starting at the beginning of April, sometimes the end of March, to kind of give myself a head start. If I put them out in the ground just as tubers without pre-starting them, it prolongs them just a little bit. So if I start them inside, I can get maybe about 2 weeks more of the flowers growing sooner than I would have. So yeah, I start them inside. So my basement again is covered in a bunch of nursery pots full of dirt with a little bit of dahlias growing everywhere.
Oh, I hear you. Last year we had this little tiny walkway to get to the washer and the dryer because it was just mounds and mounds of plants and all over the place. And I cut back this year. But you don't only do this, you are also working in the theater.
That's right, yeah. So I am the president of Windsor Light Music Theater, and recently our production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory just opened, and I was the director for that as well. So I'm busy.
Unfortunately, by the time this is on, it will be over.
Sure.
Do you have anything new that's going to be coming up?
Yeah, so our next production is The Sound of Music. So auditions for that start at the end of May, and then that will run in November, 2 weeks in November. Okay. So it's our next show that's coming up. And our director, Connie Farr, she directed it back in 2006, which was my first show. So it's kind of a nice homage almost to my starting at Windsor Light.
So you're going to be in it or in the background?
I'm going to audition. We'll see what happens.
What part?
So there's two. There's Max, which is the festival producer, as well as Captain Von Trapp. So we'll see.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Now, does your husband, is he involved in the theater as well?
He is. So he's actually right now out in Edmonton on a professional contract for a musical called Prison Dancer. And so he's been working on that with the creative team for about 12 years now. And they just finally got a big grant to do a full stage production of it. And he is doing that out in Edmonton. So I've been alone for 2 months, but again, it's our passion. So we got to do it.
You have to.
Yeah.
That's what fills your heart with joy. Have you been able to get out there and see it?
Not yet, but I will. So as soon as our show finishes, I'm heading out there for a couple of days to see his closing weekend.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So it works out perfectly.
It does, yeah. So I get to see him a little bit sooner than he would have, or I would have had he come home at the end of May. But I get to see the show too, so I'm really excited.
Oh, that's great. I also did want to say, do you sell pots as well?
Like decorative pots?
Decorative pots.
Yeah,
and
so
that?
we have, we don't necessarily have them in stock all the time, but it's something that we can get really easily for our customers. So especially when they're buying houseplants from us, if they are looking for decorative pots to work with their interior decor, we can easily get those for them.
Okay, excellent. So where can our viewers find you guys?
So we mostly deal with our online sales at wheatthistle.com. We have our robust inventory always changing there, but we also do pop up at several different markets throughout the city. So we have, been able to be at the farmers market, Drop Down Drouillard in Ford City. So we have quite a few that are coming up this year as well. And our most exciting one is going to be Art by the River, which we're really excited to do this year out in Amherstburg. But again, all over social media at Wheat Thistle, you can find out where we'll be to buy our products in person.
Excellent. I'm really excited because I haven't been to Art by the River in quite a few years, actually. So I'll get to see you guys there.
Yeah. We went there just to see what it was about last year, and it was amazing. There's so many amazing vendors and local businesses, but also you're in a historic space, and it was something that enthralled me. And I decided to apply this year, and we were lucky enough to get selected.
Excellent. Yeah, because it's really changed. Art by the River, I remember the first year that it was there, it really was just Art by the River. And now to see that they have the different vendors and now florists, it's a second Art in the Park.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping for great weather. You never know what you'll get when you're doing outdoor venues, but it's going to be, I'm sure, a great weekend.
Is that going to be your first upcoming one?
No, so we do have a couple prior to that. The market that is the closest to our time frame right now is a Mother's Day market, which is in LaSalle. But we also have a couple that are coming up. We got accepted into the Walkerville Brewery Market at the end of July, as well as the LaSalle Night Market. We have had the opportunity to pop up there as well. So again, it's almost like one or two a month that is happening, frequently. And this year, which is really exciting, is that we're moving around. We're seeing different spots in the city to get different people seeing our products instead of staying at one place the entire summer, which I think is a really interesting way to approach pop-ups.
Oh, it is. And that way everybody can, because not everybody goes to the downtown farmers market. So at least everybody's going to be able to get a chance to see you guys and your flowers. I really do appreciate you, Matthew, for coming here today and telling us a lot about your gardens, your plants, your musicals and theater. It's great. I can't believe how much you have going on.
Yeah, I'm a man of many talents, I guess.
But that's good.
Yeah, continuously filling up my calendar, and I have this desire and passion to just create in any way that I can. And I'm glad that it's resonating with so many people out in the community.
So if anybody needs any help with their interior, exterior flowers, any hints, tips, make sure to get in touch with Matthew at Wheat Thistle. Again, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Tracy.
And my name is Tracy Martins. Thank you for joining us for another episode of YQG in Bloom. You guys have a great day.